Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, programmers of all ages. So in last week's tutorial, we added some sweet-ass looking skeletons and zombies into our game. And in this week's tutorial, we are going to give some much needed love to our boss characters' animations. So if you head on over to github.com/wolfman13 /HaxeFlixel tutorial /tree /tutorial 15 /assets and then /images, you will get the demon.png image. You can just take that and go drop it into your images assets folder in your games folder. And then once you've done that, you can start up your text editor of choice, and I'll see you then. Okay, cool. So now that we are in VS Code for me, it might be another one for you. We can go over and open the boss monster.hx class and then scroll all the way up. I don't know why it was down there. Cool. Now to add the graphics, we can go just delete this line. And we say load graphic from asset paths .demon.png. It is true since we do want to have animations. Now with the boss, I made it twice the size as every other character, so this one is 32 pixels by 32 pixels. The reason I did that is so that one, it needs to be bigger than the player. You can't really have a boss character that is as big as our character or even smaller. It would just feel awkward when playing the game. And also that it can just look much better. It's the boss. It needs to be bigger. In any case, so next up we have set facing flip if FLX object dot right does not have a flip. And we can just Control C, Control V, left, and then double click, true. So it does not have a facing flip for right, but it does have a facing flip for left. Awesomeness. Now just before we go, add the animations, we can open Demon PNG. Now if we look at this bad boy of awesomeness, for the idle for the animation down, it doesn't really have an idle and a walking like the melee characters. It just has idle, since it'll constantly be floating everywhere. It doesn't really have walking animation, it just has floating animation. In any case, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 animation frames for idle or for down. We can say animation dot add down, and then it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Awesomeness. And then it is 6 animation frames, and it does animate. Or it's looping, I mean. Animation dot add left. So if we look at left, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just want to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. Cool. So it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So see? So it's 4. Yeah, 7. Awesomeness. It is 7 frames, and it is indeed looped. Animation dot add right. Okay, so for this part we can just say Control C, Control V, because it's the exact same as left. So right, then animation dot down, nope, animation dot add, I don't know why my brain did that. Animation dot up, we open the PNG and see it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames for up. That is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And it is 6 frames, and it indeed does loop. Awesomeness. So now we're going to do the same as what we did for the melee character. So just scroll down. So if we go down all the way, we see we have this function called move to target. So over here we can just do the exact same thing we did with the melee characters, where we say velocity.x does not equal 0, nor does velocity.y. My typing is so bad. Equals 0. And touching equals FLX object dot none. So if it is moving and it's not touching anything, then we say math dot absolute velocity dot x is greater than math dot absolute velocity dot y. So if x is greater than y, so if velocity dot x is less than 0, then facing equals FLX object dot left. We can actually just remove these curly braces. It's only a one-line if statement. So else facing equals FLX object dot right. Cool. And now for this part we say else if velocity dot y is less than 0, facing equals FLX object dot up. This can also just be a one-line if statement, so we can remove the curly braces. So otherwise, facing equals FLX object dot down. Awesomeness. Now we should probably also add an animate function like we did with the melee characters. So it's private function animate. Now before I forget again, let me just scroll up to where we do the update functions. So underneath attack we add the animate function call to make sure that we do check for animations. Now since there isn't really a difference between walking or moving and standing still, we can just say switch and then facing case FLX object dot up. Come on. Animation dot play, and then we just play the up animation. Cool. Now to save myself a lot of frustration, I'm just gonna Control C, Control V, V and V. So if it's left, then we play left. If it is down, then we play down. And if it is right, then we play the right animation. Awesomeness. And that should be everything for this function. Now we can head on over to play state. Now the first thing we will want to do is add a variable for the boss character. So variable boss monster and then we want to instantiate it. So because we're just testing for now, we can delete this line. We say boss monster equals new boss monster, and it wants a float, so we'll just spawn it at 0, 0, and we say the target is player. Then we add boss monster into the world. Awesomeness. Now in update, we just want to handle the the shooting functionality for the boss monster. So we can create a function, handle range monsters. So just underneath that, you can say private function handle boss monster. Now don't worry about these functions. Once we add actual levels, this entire file is going to be deleted. So this is just testing grounds for us to make sure that the functionality of each character is up to the standards that we want it to be. And then once that is done, we will add everything into separate files, like file 1 will be level 1, file 2 will be level 2, and so forth. And then as variables, we want a monster type called boss monster. No, a boss monster type called monster. Sorry, that was broken of me. Now we pretty much just copy paste this, since the boss monster has the exact same functionality as the ranged units goes. Cool, that should be it. We should also just call it, so handle boss monster, and we specifically want to pass the boss monster to it. Awesomeness. Now we could check for collisions overlapping with the boss monster, but in the next tutorial I want to go through and just tweak the AI of the boss monster just a little bit, so that if it hits the player, the moment it hits the player, it'll stand still for a moment so that the player can get away, and then it'll go back to doing what it was doing before, so that it doesn't constantly like just eat the player up, which I'll show you now momentarily. So if we press Control plus the tilde character, we say line test hash links for HL with debug functionality enabled. Now I'll just cut the video here and come back the moment that the build has finished. Okay, so the build has finished and the monster is already destroying us. Now you can see that it does work. I'm just waiting for it to move. So the shooting still works. We can see that the monster is slightly bouncing up and down, so the animation for facing right is working. It is really trying to shoot me down today. Oh, there we go. Cool. So we can see that the animations for it is working, and it shot us, so we teleported. Awesomeness. So just before you leave, thank you so much for watching today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please feel free to drop a like, subscribe. If you hated it, feel free to dislike it, but I would ask that you also at least tell me why you don't like it, so that I can go back, or I can work on it next time so I don't make the same mistakes over and over. If you want to support the channel above and beyond simply dropping a like and subscribe, I would suggest that you go over to 8bitswag.com, maybe get yourself a hoodie, maybe go over to catalog and going down all products and just scrolling down till you see hacks. Maybe get yourself a nice Hax hoodie, maybe a Hax t-shirt or a Hax sticker. Show your love and support for the Hax programming language and for me as a YouTuber and e-commerce owner. Thank you so much. I hope your week is awesome and that you will love it. Until next time, goodbye.